Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some malicious compliance. He said he didn't care. 2012, working in a call center for a financial institution as a customer service rep. Got calls all the time about ruining birthdays and Christmas for overdraft fees. Was always pretty good at getting the customer to focus on the solution and understand I'm there to help. Call comes in. Thank you for calling blank. This is blank. How can I help you today? You can start by turning my card back on. Sorry to hear that. I can definitely help with that. Let me just collect some information. What more do you need to hear? My card doesn't work, so fix it. I understand how that can be frustrating, so let's figure this out together and get it resolved. Whatever, man. So I verify him and do some research and find out that his card was compromised for malicious charges, so we shut it down and attempted to reach out the day before. He argues for a while about me not being able to turn his card on and that we have to dispute the charges and send him a new card. He gets pretty nasty, but I offer to overnight him a card and waive the fee. Just get me a new card. Okay, absolutely. I see you had the sports team card. Do you want the same design? I don't care what it is. I just need a new card. Okay, sounds good. The new one will be there via FedEx tomorrow. Make sure you are there to sign for it. He hangs up and I sent him the card with the kittens on it. I bet when he gets it he's gonna say, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me right, meow." Entitled Microwave Lady. A couple of years ago, I stopped at Lowe's to exchange my empty propane tank. I had just finished securing the new one in my trunk when I heard a shout from across the parking lot. Excuse me, can you help?" I looked up and saw a middle-aged woman having trouble getting a microwave that she just bought into her trunk. No problem. I went over and helped her. The microwave wasn't too heavy and it fit perfectly into her car. She thanked me, I nodded and started to walk away. I was a few feet from her car when I heard her say, "Aren't you going to take my cart back up there?" I turned around and saw her pointing at her shopping cart. "Take my cart," she demanded, starting to get a little agitated. "Oh, you know I don't work here, right?" "Yes, I know, but you should still be a gentleman and take my cart." "No. I was helping you out with the microwave, but I am not about to take my cart now," she yelled, pointing to the store. Okay, whatever. I didn't want to get into an argument in the middle of the Lowe's parking lot, so I sighed, walked back to her and took her cart. I started to bring it back toward the store, but this didn't quite sit right with me. I was okay helping her with the microwave, but she was certainly capable of doing this part of the job. If people always do this kind of thing for her, she will never learn her lesson. I was about 10 feet away from her when I decided to stop pushing the cart back and wait for her to get into the car. As soon as she had her door shut, I turned around, walked back to her parking spot, and left that shopping cart right behind her car so she couldn't leave without getting out and moving it herself. I hope that wonderful lady is having the best of luck with her microwave. I gotta say, he really had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. Brilliance in marketing. Around 1990, I was working for a tiny division of a huge computer company. Our business was to buy components like memory sticks and network cards from other manufacturers, put our company's name on them, and sell them through computer retailers at an obscene profit. These were the days when a lot of people only trusted a name brand. Sales of a particular widget were slow, so one of the marketing wizards came up with a great idea. He set up a special deal with one of the large retailers. After 30 days, we would buy back any that they couldn't sell. Within a month, we were shipping cases of these widgets to every one of the retailer's stores. Management was delighted, and the new marketing guy got a huge bonus. I happened to go into one of these stores to buy ink for my printer, and looked around for our product. Couldn't find it. So, I asked one of the employees. He said he had never heard of the widget and showed me a similar product from another manufacturer. I said I really wanted our widget. Could he please ask a manager? At this point, I was assuming these widgets were flying off the shelves so fast they couldn't keep them in stock. The manager told me that he did have some in the back room. If I really wanted one, it would take a while since he had to dig one out of the shipping crate. I asked why they weren't on the shelf. He said that the product was basically overpriced junk that no one wants. I thanked him and left. The next day, I reported this to my manager. We did some investigation and figured out what happened. Like every other manufacturer, we sold the product to the retailer at a wholesale price. The retailer then marked it up for retail sale. This special deal agreed to buy the widgets back, not at the wholesale price, but at the suggested retail price. The retailer was just following the terms of his contract. He bought the widgets from us for $100, let them sit in the corner of his storeroom for a month, then sold them back to us for $150. Instant profit. My manager and I did what any local employee would do. We submitted a formal suggestion that we change the terms of the deal to buy them back at the wholesale price, thus saving the company thousands of dollars each month. We each got a nice check for 10% of the first month's savings. Now that I think about it, maybe the aforementioned marketing wizard was actually working with the retailer and taking a chunk of the profit. That could have been a thing. You want the car? Have it. My sister recently came back from uni in another. Before she left, she had a car my dad bought for her and she used for 1 year till she left, and I got my license in the meantime and started driving. When she came back, I had an ongoing internship and needed the car from about 8:30 till 1:30, which is usually when she wakes up, so no problem with me using the car at that time. But this time, I had to run some errands after work and came back a little later than usual. While doing so, I got a call from an angry sister saying I should have asked before taking the car, and that she asked my dad to buy that car for a reason, and that I can't just simply take the car. My dad only gives me allowance for food, and he pays for fuel to get to my workplace. However, that hardly happens because he's hardly around and too tired to refuel the car, and I'm not old enough for a credit card, but my sister has one. She uses the car on a daily basis and refuses to use the car to refuel the car, and I have been paying for all the fuel myself just because she is lazy. After getting that phone call, I quickly did what I had to do and got home at about 4. She demands her keys and repeats what she said on the phone. I wasn't mad. That car was for the both of us, and sure, I admit, I should have told her I'd be late, but she was angry. Then, I came to the realization that I've been paying for all that fuel and she's been a lazy butt for the entire time she's been here. I usually play games till 2 or 3 AM with friends, but this time I skipped. I took the car at night and drove until the very last drop of fuel, till the last bar and then the petrol sign. Since I don't get to have the car anymore, until my dad gets involved of course, I took an Uber this time to work and let her use the car. It was too late when she realized she had no fuel at all and was on a highway far away from a gas station. Wish I was there to see her face. That's a great petty revenge or pro-revenge story, but what would have been even better is when she said, oh, you need to ask to borrow my car, so he wakes her up at like 8:30 in the morning because she sleeps till noon, and then asks her then. What? I cannot hear you. I started a brand new job at a resort, somewhere in the USA. I look at the reviews and they had some dire warnings, but I worked in some pretty wild places before. So I signed up and prepared. I don't expect to stay for long. I show up to work as a maintenance man. My new boss gives me a tour and a radio. He calls me on this radio. I call him back. I held the button for maybe 3 seconds before I started speaking. He didn't answer, so I called again. Nothing. Well, later, he confronts me and tells me that he hasn't heard me respond on the radio, so I tell him that I called. He told me to hold down the button for 1 second before speaking. From here on out, I knew this would be a long job. Later that day, he calls on the radio again, so I hold the button down for 1 second instead of the 3 I did before. Respond, and I hear his radio sound. Like he just pushed the button down and lifted it without talking. I respond again, his radio sounds. We tag back and forth like this for 9 times. He was angry, but I was already enjoying my first day. Every morning to date, for 4 months now, he gets on his radio and makes the sound like he isn't holding the button down on his radio long enough for his radio to pick up his voice. One of the maintenance guys usually calls on the radio. Hey boss, were you calling me? He will respond, sht. So I talk to the night shift worker who I am supposed to replace. Well, he tells me that over the past 2 years, our beloved boss has bestowed the night position. One man with increasingly amounts of nightly, weekly, and monthly duties. Our dear boss also had the fortune of gifting increasing amounts of projects, like having one man paint an entire fire truck with 2 coats of paint in one night. Maybe it would be possible to put 1 coat of paint on a fire truck if we didn't have 6 hours of regular duties on an 8-hour shift. However, our boss has some strange sense of time that no one can seem to figure out. So, of course, to compound the radio issue, we painted this truck in the noisy generator room to make it hard to hear the radio. Not that we know who he is calling for on the radio anyway. So then, our boss got tired of seeing both of the night shift workers driving around in one golf cart. He told us that we need to split up our duties and drive 2 different golf carts. Now, I know for a fact that when we do any regular duty X or project Y, when we both do it, our time gets cut in half. Even if I am fixing a leaky pipe, my partner can save a lot of time fetching parts and tools. I literally timed the duties we do, both together and apart, with my watch, and I know we accomplished the same amount of work either way. So now, we both drive 2 golf carts to the same places at the same times. We split fixing pipes into 2 duties, fixing and fetching. We split inspecting fire extinguishers into 2 parts. I look at the height off the ground, look for rust, and he will look to see if it's sealed and if it has the right pressure. In fact, every task we do has been broken down such that we work together. Then, our boss wanted us to break up our co-workers' parties in employee housing. He wanted us to take pictures of anyone partying at night. He wanted us to patrol the area and look for partiers every night. Now, if you don't know, this is a great way to anger your co-workers. Angry co-workers can make your life miserable at work. So, we drive by, wave kindly at the 10 people drinking beer on the deck at 2 AM, and we often chat with them. I usually turn to my co-worker in the second golf cart and ask him, "Hey, does this look like a party to you?" He usually says, nope, then we move on. If we get a noise complaint, we kindly ask the partiers to take it to the employee recreation building. When we take the pictures, we smudge some dirt on our cameras and take them from too far away to identify anyone. When our boss asks about the partiers at 2 AM, we will say, we didn't see them at midnight when we drove by. Anyway, our boss has dreamed up many ingenious ways of shooting himself in the foot, alienating and angering his workers, damaging his workers' reputations behind their backs, and much, much more. But these are just some of the ways his workers unite to maliciously comply. I suppose upper management doesn't want to get rid of him, because few people are willing to do this job. Our boss would love to leave, but no one will hire him elsewhere. He told me this last part directly. Wait, so that last part basically said he went up to his employees and said, oh, no one else will hire me because I'm such a bad boss. That's like the worst thing to say ever. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.